how do words matter? If we don't go to the foundation of something, everything built on top of it's going to be unsteady.
I'm an artist. My work is about the human impact on the environment. My dad is a mountain guide, and he's one of the few Indigenous mountain guides in Canada. And I definitely got my love of the mountains from him. I'm from Treaty 7 territory, and to be more specific, I'm from Banff, Alberta. With the discovery of the unmarked graves with the residential school system, I started looking at Mount Rundle more. It's a prominent staple in our town, and the fact that it's named after a reverend who contributed to the residential school system was shocking. It just made me question who colonized these mountains and what can we do to change that, because in this age of truth and reconciliation, we should be doing better. My new work with Beating Over the Mountains is to tie in my colonial practice of photography with my Indigenous practice of beading. As a Métis person, I am a bridge between cultures, my settler family and my Indigenous family, and I found that this project really brought two together. What I want people to take out of my artwork is to be more aware of their surroundings. Whenever I come to Revelstoke to visit family, I notice that Mount Begbie is on everything. It's the Mount Rundle of Revelstoke. To find out who Begbie really is inspiring to me, because this is another example of colonial mountain names, and it's something that we can change all together and bring awareness to the outdoor community.
Some of the work we make as artists comes from us, and some of the work we make as artists comes through us. We are giving a voice to something bigger than ourselves at times. Ani, Ariel Kizike Hill Indigenous, Wikwemikong unceded territory, and Six Nations of the Grand River, Ndunjaba. I have been to Revelstoke since 2017. I'm grateful to be here, first and foremost, as a visitor on these traditional territories. Begbie is ingrained in Revelstoke from every aspect, as to businesses, to arts and culture, physical pursuits like climbing or skiing. It's kind of a part of our identity in a way. Sir Matthew Begbie was a colonial judge that came to the area in 1858 and lived in British Columbia for the remainder of his life. He was involved in every level of the judicial system, eventually becoming the first Chief Justice of BC. In the years after his death, he became known as the hanging judge for the way that he prosecuted his cases. And unfortunately, one of those cases involved 5 Indigenous chiefs from the Chilcotin Nation during the Chilcotin War of 1864. They had killed white settlers trying to develop on their land. There's a bigger story there than just this individual and Indigenous people. Standing up to a white colonial judicial system as an Indigenous person, you've already lost. We have this beautiful, iconic mountain, and it's named after this colonial figure who, in my mind, and in my opinion, wasn't a great guy. A lot of people are unaware, especially in this community, of the history of Begbie. It's something that we have to dive into, and it all starts with a conversation, and then from there can lead to action. Just taking an honest look at it and deciding if you still want to be associated to that past.
I grew up all over the Shuswap and Okanagan. Coming back to Revelstoke and being Secwepemc and finding out on the trails how we used to get here and planning pursuits on that just fills my heart. Waitkukwatep del Toma and Squest till Sekatwa Estequin. We were up on Begbie. I was up there and I was doing an offering, and that's something that I do for me. That's something I do for the mountain. That's something I do for my culture, to say I'm here and to trade that energy back and forth and be a part of a mountain. Drew me to snowboarding.
I often say that my Indigenous knowledge is very similar to my guide's knowledge. We go into a place and we embed our history and we hold dynamic practice within those environments. My name is Tim Patterson. I was born Morris Kootenai. I'm originally from the Lower Nicola Indian Band outside of Merritt, British Columbia. I grew up here in Revelstoke, actually. Having grown up here, Begbie became one of those formative places where I got the foundation of learning how to be in mountains and be comfortable in the bush. It's kind of the first thing that you see on entering into the valley. So it's representative of home. Each of us will have a different perspective and a different feeling from the same place. Build cumulative experience of a trail, of a mountain, of an area. There's a piece of us in locations where we ski or where we hike or where we climb. They become significant to our story, our history. What's important about that is recognizing and being intentional about layering that experience. That's what land acknowledgement is to me.
We are the only First Nations people in all of Canada that has a specific declaration of extinction. That doesn't mean that there haven't been First Nations people, Indigenous people, whose whole tribes were wiped off the face of the earth. There really were. But we carry the distinct paperwork that declared us extinct. And what was on top of it, right, was that we weren't, and they knew we weren't. Pisnak sir in chai squeeze praset ku so Shelley Boyd. Kinsanach teklamil taskinlim kinala. My name is Shelley Boyd and I'm a Sinixt woman. The way we pronounce our name is Sinaichkst. Sin is the place. Aichkst is a bull trout, and Ind is the people. The place of the bull trout people. That's what our name means. We are still here as Indigenous people because we're strong. But the reality is that when you are declared extinct, you're literally told you mean nothing. It makes you feel like on some level there's something wrong with you. I wish I had some really beautiful stories about like Mount Begbie, but we have a lot of painful stories. The redemption and the beauty really comes when our people come back and they feel the strength of the land and they feel restored. We put names on places that have to do with the land. You'll never find an Indigenous place name that's after a person. You cannot separate the man from the land, and what we do to the land really does happen to us eventually. People who they're living this life connected to the land, whether it's skiing or, in the water or whatever, they understand the power that the land gives you and the healingness of the land. It's open to everybody and it's powerful and it provides for anyone. And it asks nothing in return except for us to love it.